Direct from the transistor radio in your lounge room.
It's not unplugged. Yeah, no, I understand, Brett, I understand. I'm just very confused as to why it wasn't coming through. So it wasn't even muted over in Star. Not right this second, darling, please, thank you. It wasn't even muted over in Streamlabs, but I muted it and unmuted it in Streamlabs, and now it works. Go figure. Anyway, let's start the introduction again, shall we? God, I love technology. What about you? And no, Mitty, I just want to make it clear, I wasn't having a go at you. I was just like, bruh, the microphone's on. I'm staring at it. It's bright red. That's why I was pointing at it going, what the shit's going on? It's bright red. Alright, let's try again. So, g'day ladies and gentlemen, legends of the highest regard. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel for the first time if you are new here. I'm just some Aussie, otherwise known as Bryce L. And to all of you who are here, how the bloody hell are you? Hope you're doing really, really well. So, in this flight, we're going to recreate Melbourne's Gooney bird, which is a retrofitted scenic flying DC3 that operates out of Essendon Airport here in Melbourne, and it operates flights down to King Island in Tasmania. Now, in real life, the flights operate early in the morning or in the afternoon, and you go down to King Island, then you have lunch or dinner, because King Island is a bit of a produce, food part of the world, or part of Australia, should I say. We won't be able to do that second bit because still having issues with my USB hub, which means we cannot get film from the kitchen, unfortunately. The original plan was to do that, was to do the flight and then have me recreate the Gooney bird menu that they usually serve once you're on the ground in King Island. Yeah, unfortunately that's not going to be an option in this flight at this stage. But nonetheless, it's going to be a good flight nonetheless. So we're going to be flying over Melbourne, heading down over Phillip Island and Wilson's Promontory before we head over into King Island. So, Mitty, you took the words right out of my mouth, but we won't continue that sentence because then things are going to get weird. I will potentially do some sort of video over on the cooking channel that is a recreation of the menu, and I'll pop that in Discord at some point. But look, without further ado, I think it's time to, one, put some music on, two, say a few good days to the various people who have decided to join us this afternoon over in the chat, and then number three, see if we can actually make the DC3 work from cold and dark stages. Well, it's not quite cold and dark, I've turned the ground power and the battery on, but yeah, see if I can actually do it, because I haven't really played with it much. Basically finished setting up, installing the sim yesterday evening, and we're going to stream it today. The only other time that I flew the DC3 is what you guys saw in the stream on release day, before I obviously had to go and do a reinstall due to the significant amount of stuttering. Alright, so, music. Let me know what the audio is like for the sim and for the music, obviously compared to my voice as well. Mr. Gawin has spawned in the DC3. Wow, Gawin flying a commercial plane. Something must be significantly wrong. You must be feeling unwell, Gawin. I mean, I know the DC3 probably classified slightly differently because it's old school and sounds awesome and it's just generally fucking cool. But yeah, you know, it does technically carry passengers, so What the hell am I doing here? I am doing this. There's a question that I ask myself every day when I wake up in the morning. What the hell am I doing here? Sorry, that was just completely and utterly off topic and dark. So we have, of course, Midi37. He says, woo, Melbourne. Yes, very much Melbourne. However, right now, it is really windy in Melbourne. Like, we're sitting on the ground here, and we've got nearly 30 knots of wind here at Essendon Airport. So, I mean, taking off in an old school radial tail dragger with 30 knots of wind is gonna be interesting. It's also probably not certifiable as a thing that you can actually do, but we're going to do it anyway because, I don't have a good response to why we're going to do it. We're just going to do it. Mr. Poundy is here. He says, better not have been the coffee you forgot. No. I'm pretty sure I don't need any extra coffee this morning. The one was enough. Learnt my lesson last time when I was basically on MDMA without actually being on MDMA. Mr. Gawin, or Garwin Grimm, or I don't even know what we refer to you as anymore, mate. Probably just Garwin. But welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. He says sup because he's cool and all that. Then we discovered that Streamlabs hates my microphone. I don't know what, I'm very confused as to what Streamlabs did there. But I have also noticed recently that quite a few streamers have been like, Streamlabs is weird right now. So that could just be the issue, is the fact that Streamlabs is just being weird. Whoa, hey! Good old doggos. Can't live with them, can't live without them. Right. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I saw Brett Plays in there somewhere. There he is. Brett says, if only I knew you starting at midday, I would have set up the raid. We should communicate behind the scene more, maybe. Well, to be honest with you, Brett, I didn't really know that I was going to be starting at midday until I started the sim up a couple of hours ago, just to make sure that it was still dunky hoary after finishing reinstalling it last night. But yeah, let's communicate more behind the scenes. As you know, my schedule is all over the place, so... But there should always be an opportunity for one of us to raid the other at some point. So yeah, let's absolutely do that. Sounds good. But welcome to the stream as well, Mr. Plays. Hope you're doing very, very well. What did I... the Fun with Friends course here in the... What is the fun... Oh, yeah, the thing by Orbex. Yeah, Fun with Friends. Yeah. My God, Garwin's already in the air. What? Did you do the good old-fashioned Control E, did you, Garwin? I don't blame you. Yeah, exactly right, Mitty. We shouldn't do it, but we're going to do it anyways. Me, 2022. Exactly right. Just, make sure you keep those quotes, Mitty, because one day when I'm rich and famous, that's never going to happen. You can get them autographed by me. No, she doesn't, Brett. I took her toileting before the start of the stream. You know, brains trust. Mr. William Kelly says, hello. G'day, William, mate. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing bloody well. Mitty is now a raider. Okay, fair enough. Canberra Raiders. What's the Raiders of the Lost Ark? Mitty is a raider of the Lost Ark. There we go. I have not started this yet, William. I have taken off from Meigsfield and done a circuit. with lots of stutters before I did a reinstall. So, yeah, should be fine. I don't foresee any issues occurring. Gawin is flying for the first time with the realism update to the DC3. So yeah, I downloaded the DC3 enhancement update as well. I was going to say, please don't tell me the sim's going to crash on me now. Alright, so, as I did say, we have ground power and battery on. So, I just need to make sure. We're probably going to need de-icing and stuff. Windshield, pitot heat, airframe de-ice, all that stuff on, because we've come to a bit of a cold snap in Melbourne in real life, and not to mention the ridiculous winds and the fact that there's storms forming off in Port Phillip Bay means that, yeah, probably some icing would be good. I also need carburetor, de-icing. Don't know why I'm turning on all the de-icing before I've actually turned on the aircraft or anything like that, but I'm just sort of, you know. So we'll put on the primers and the booster pumps, because I guarantee you this thing is going to be an absolute see you next Tuesday to try and start when it becomes time. Make sure that we are on GPS, which we are. Make sure that everything is correct in the flight plan, which it is. Make sure we have our selected altitude. So we want to cruise at about 5,000 feet. So I'm using the retrofitted DC3 on this flight because the aircraft in question, the real life version, the GOONEY bird, it might be a DC3, but it's actually got a glass cockpit and an Airbus A320 style interior with overhead bins and the whole kit. So obviously that's not an option in the sim, but the retrofit's probably the closest option that we have. I obviously do want to learn how to fly the classic one as well, but if the PMDG 737 is anything to go by, yeah, you know, probably yeah, if the PMDG 737 is anything to go by, we'd be here for nearly 2 hours whilst I just try and remember how to start the damn thing. I'm just making sure that I'm not missing any bits and pieces over there, which I don't seem to be. We'll give it the propeller, like so. Give it full mixture. That's the rudder trim, that's the emergency autopilot power. Now, oh, God, she is. She just makes me want to sometimes, you know? Very frustrating, very frustrating. Right. Now, I know there's some buttons underneath the throttle levers there. I just want to make sure that we've switched everything that we need to. So there's the carburetor heat levers and all that. That's the superchargers. Cool, cool, cool. That's the landing gear switches over there. Oh yeah, hydraulic system. I saw something about that before. Did I? Oh, right. There's the... Right, okay, cool, cool. Now, control... No, 4. No, 5. No, 6. No, 7, no, 8, no, 9, no, 2, no, 1. There's no camera view for down underneath the throttles. What? But I know there's buttons down there that we have to press. That's weird. Really weird. Sorry, to excuse the language, what the fuck am I meant to do here if I know that there's buttons down there that we have to turn on to make the engine start, but we can't actually get the camera to go down there? That doesn't seem right. Right, okay. Ah, hang on. No. Move the viewpoint with cursor keys when in the area you want. I just went from control 1 to control 0, William. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. None of them had the bloody viewpoint. However, going to... I hit control 4 before and it didn't come down here. It went completely in the opposite direction. What? Okay. No worries. Thanks, DC3, for making me look like a right royal dick. Actually, maybe there's not buttons down here that we need to press after all. Maybe that's on the classic that there's buttons down here that we need to press. Cool. Anyway, alright, let's just, never mind, don't worry about me. Just, completely having a, interesting time. Let's go with that. Alright. The next question is, where in the flippin' hell is,
If I come up and I fall off, that's on me.
Poundy, they will be back as soon as Streamlabs OBS Prime has a bloody sale that's worth taking advantage of. Because right now, that shit's like $100 and something a year, and I'm like, really? That much to just stream across all platforms? Jesus. But I know for a fact that there's always sales, especially towards the end of the year. So as soon as that occurs, you be best guaranteed that we will be streaming across all the platforms again. Definitely icing. I'm glad that I turned the icing stuff on then, Brett. You need to find the fuel switches to the front of the quadrant. The question... So there's the front of the quadrant. And there's no fuel switches. And this is... That's because I'm at the back of... Never mind. Don't worry about me, William. I know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, sure. Right, so we've got, it appears we've got everything in position, but there's, I'm looking, because it's an old school aircraft, I'm looking for the engine. Ah, there we go. Here I am looking for a freaking key. No, it's a Douglas, for God's sake. It's all switch related stuff. Don't worry about me. Do not worry about me. Let's turn the magnetos on. That would have been probably a good place to start as well. And then we should simply be able to just... No.
If I come up and I fall off, that's on me. If I fold, not sell out, that's weak. That's why I take my time before I make my
All right.
and I do this
Yes.
days of the week. And I grind so
There we go. There we go. No.
so I don't have to
Okay. Sure, we'll use the auxiliary tanks then. No worries, aircraft. You do you. Cool. Yeah, so starter weight, mesh weight, and then the primer. So the primers are already on, so I'll turn those off. I'll turn that off. Yeah, so starter, weight, and then we do mesh, and then we weight, and then we prime. There we go, that's better. Here I am thinking, I'm pretty sure I've primed and boosted and all the various things. Okay, that was a... I was going to say it wasn't on a successful start, but it may actually still be successful here. Was I meant to be, what? Whoops. Wrong switch. Shit. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell's going on? You've primed the wrong engine, Bryce. Yeah, I think we better restart the whole procedure, shall we? Yeah, okay. Let's make sure we do the correct motors. Shit. Let's try again, shall we? So, we'll go with the... Hang on. I've done that wrong already, haven't I? Oh, no, I haven't. That's correct. Then I do the mesh. Then I do the right engine primer with the right fuel boost pump. That should... There we go. Helps if you select the right fuel tanks and the right engine start sequence that matches up with the engine you're actually trying to start. Oh. That didn't go so well. Well, that was definitely started. I wonder what happened there. What did we miss? Is it because I'm on the wrong fuel tank? Wouldn't surprise me if I've selected the wrong fuel tank as well. Hey Lazarus mate, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing really well. You need to turn on fuel to the right engine. Yeah. As soon as that didn't start, William, I was like, oh god, I've selected the wrong fuel tank as well, haven't I, on the and sure enough, I'm trying to start different engines to the different types of fuel I selected, which is, you know, yeah. Let's try again for a third time, shall we? No, that's the... See? Okay, now I know how I messed that up the first time round, because I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. Alright. She's smoky. She's smoky. However... Oh. There are 2 fuel switches. That is the left one. There is one on the... Oh! Okay. That makes more sense. I see. I see. Okay, so we've got to have both. We will get here, ladies and gentlemen. We will get there. I promise you we will. It might be 2024 by the time that we do, but we will get there. I feel like I'm doing better with this than I was doing with the 737, which is, I don't know if that's a reflection on me as a pilot or the study levelness of the 737, because you'd think a DC3 would be more complex than a 737 to start, but hey, you know. Hey, Mr. HazXR is here. He says, love the A310 so far. How about you? Well, HazXR, this is the first... What the fuck is going on there? Right. We have a possessed DC3. Can I get a, Right. An exorcist? Can we please get an exorcist to Essendon Airport, please? One exorcist. We have a DC3 that is floating. The power of Christ compels you. Right. Yes, it'll be somebody without the Orbex scenery, but it's still bloody hilarious to look at. No, I also didn't open the cow flaps, William. William, what would I do without you? Probably never get off the ground. Alright, so, where... Brett Plays doesn't own Essendon. Okay, so that's Brett. Cool. So Brett's the one who needs the exorcist. Very good. Yeah, where is the cow flaps? That's, now that you mention it, William, that's a very good point. Where is the cow flaps? I'm basically trying to treat this thing like it's a DC6 in my approach towards it. But yes, it's a very good question. We got VTOL on the DC3 now, Mitty. Not only can you retrofit the DC3 with a glass cockpit and Airbus interior, but you can also fit VTOL under the right window. Ah, yes. Yes. Very good, very good. Right. That's very helpful. Okay. Now that we've managed to get all the buttons, let's, for the 5th time, try and start this right engine, shall we? What happens if we give it a little bit of, Now I'm really confused. The fuel is on. The battery and ground power is on. The mixture and the propeller is on. I have the fuel switch wrong. Alright, let's, whoops, wrong button. So, the fuel switch... Yeah, I want it to be... Okay, maybe because I'm trying to start it off the auxiliary as opposed to the main. Yeah, that's where I went wrong. That's where I went wrong. I'm hitting the wrong part of the switch. You don't usually start your aircraft off of an auxiliary tank, so... Thank you very much, Drew. Thank you very much. Just want to tell you all, good luck. We're counting on you. We'll get there, I promise. We've managed to get to this point without any assistance, so I'm relatively happy with that, considering my previous track record with trying to start aircraft I've never flown before on a string. Right. Attempt 6? 6. Attempt 6. Yes, so I need to do the same thing for the left main. Yes. Right. Left. Right, left, left, right. I think we're good. I think we're good. The autopilot hates your flight plan. Turns are miles too sharp for a DC. There should not be any tight turns in the flight plan, Gawin. The flight plan should just go straight across the city of Melbourne so you can see all the viewpoints and then just continue on. If there's any tight turns, it means Microsoft Flight Simulator's done its good old flight plan trick where it just likes to screw you over. Because I didn't do any little circles or anything. Okay, that's interesting. There's ones all over the city around in little circles. Good. Well, okay. Fun. Very, very good. Jesus Christ. That's, well, interesting. MIDI, this song is... There you go, MIDI. Okay. I think that we have great success. So, now we will, I was going to say we'll turn the battery off. No, we definitely won't turn the battery off. We'll turn off ground power though. Definitely won't turn off the battery. That would be a bad, bad idea. We'll put a notch of flaps in. Still getting a little bit of stuttering. I'm sure they'll probably fix that with a hot fix. Just need to be a little bit patient. As long as we're not getting crashes to desktop, that's fine. We'll keep the cowl flaps fully open as well until we are up in the air. Get all those. Oh, I like that. The little tinge of red across the compass. That's quite cool. Definitely gives you the feeling of an old school aircraft. That's for sure. All right. So I'm hoping now that if I just give it a little bit of juice, that we should move in a forwards motion, and we are. thank you very much for your assistance with that starting sequence, William. A little, those little hidden buttons are a little, yeah, definitely could confuse a few people, especially if their name is Bryce. Right, that is the start of the runway. That couldn't be any more perfect if we tried, could it? Yes, right, I'll pull up here at the, on the runway once we're lined up, and I'll make sure the trim is good. I did remember actually seeing you mention something about that, Gawin. I think it was in Shane's stream. Yeah. %75% power, then keep the nose down until you pick up speed. I mean, we don't exactly have a huge amount of runway here anyway at Essendon, so I hope it's not going to take... Like, I'm assuming the DC3 doesn't have a huge takeoff roll. Wow! The brakes are basically useless. They do nothing. Good. Good. Okay, and my pitch trim wheel is not telling me what sort of pitch trim we're getting, so I'm just gonna scroll until, yeah, sure, that was about 15 scrolls, so I'm just gonna assume that each scroll is a degree. It's a foolproof plan, I promise you, it's foolproof. Anyway. There's a little indicator next to the trim wheel. Okay, thank you very much, William. I can get you to zoom in for me. That's the rudder trim. There. Ah, there it is. Okay. Okay. Right, yep. Beautiful. Thank you very much, William. Alright, I think we are good. Oh my god, this 30 knots of wind is a problem. The 30 knots of wind on the ground is a serious problem. Come on, keep it on the runway. Yeah, that was, well, we're up, and that's the main thing. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I should have, honestly, when I saw that there was the 30 knots of wind on the ground, I should have expected it was going to be a hell of a interesting takeoff, and it was. It was very interesting. Okay, for some reason my autopilot is not working. making sure that we're trimming it out a little bit here so that we don't nosedive into the ground whilst we are flying. Gear is up. Gear is 100% up. Wow, now we are nosing up like you wouldn't believe. There we go. Smooth it out a little bit. That's alright. It's not necessarily a problem because as Garwin was saying, for some reason the first part of the flight plan's gone all wonky and it's got heaps of turns and stuff in it. So now we're nosing down again. Geez, the trim in this thing is extraordinarily slow to react, and then when it does, you better be watching what you're doing or you're going to have a problem. Go, Westgate Bridge, Yarra River, the Melbourne Docks, Southern Cross, the Balti Bridge, Melbourne itself. Yeah, I will make sure with future flight plans, Garwin, until nosing up like it's going out of fashion again, even though we haven't adjusted the trim in about 6 hours, so that's good. And crash to desktop. Amazing. Okay. Well, good. Very good. That's interesting. That's the first time I've done a proper flight in the sim. Which means it's potentially not stable, which is fun. Gawin says, on that note, time for bed for me. I will go back and land. No worries, Gawin. This could be interesting. This could be very interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have another go. We're gonna do the. Now that I know how to do the startup procedure, it's obviously going to be a lot quicker. So we're gonna have another shot at that. And then if it's still like if we get another crash to desktop, then I don't know actually, because as it's a completely fresh install of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So it shouldn't be unstable, you wouldn't think.
Bring around the rosy, pockets full like OG.
Start on active runway. I mean, does the DC3 do that okay? I know sometimes if you start payware study level, I don't know if the DC3 study level, but payware study level aircraft on the runway, they kind of tend to melt down and not really like it.
How'd you like it back to the bank, tell her honors, put in overtime so I do what I wanna. Yeah. Alright, yeah. Okay, okay. Alright, yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah. Full court press, none stress when I work on. Full court press, none less than a honor. Full court press, straight flex, close the curtain.
Load in the flight plan again.
And I stay humble. Hit me for a feature, don't you come with no petty numbers. Talking about some
there, open.
Plenty from us. Fed you for the low so I could double
yes. That we will start on the runway. Let's see what happens.
And that made me a better man. Now it's backstage business to shake your hands. I don't do this for Instagram. This is real life for real. My real life for real. For real. So I do.
That is the first crash to desktop that I have had since I restarted streaming. Yeah, I mean, agreed, Midi. I am lucky for that. At the same time, I'm now a little bit concerned. You know. Oh, at least we get to do this. At least we get to do this takeoff again. This mad, crazy takeoff in the insane winds. Well, Garwin's about to say hello to us. Hello, Garwin. Gotta fight that crosswind. Fight that crosswind. There we go. We are winning the fight. Damn, that crosswind is brutal in this little DC3. That is absolutely brutal. Yeah, it would have been extremely fun trying to land that Gawin. I do not envy you coming back to land here. Although King Island's in the middle of Bass Strait, so I'm not exactly expecting that that's going to be an easy landing either. Okay, the trim's gone all wonky again. That's interesting. I'm adjusting the trim and then letting go of the joystick, and Trim appears to be readjusting itself, which is... Whoa! What the... See what I mean? That was weird. Okay, it's not doing it this time. That's a good... That was... It's, the DC3 just chose death. It's just like, no, I don't want to fly. Screw you. Gawin, mate, thank you very much for dropping into the stream, even though we didn't get very far, but you have a good one, good sir. Have a good rest, etc. And hopefully we'll catch you sometime soon, although I don't know if it's going to be in the sim, because this is interesting. Let's hope we can get this flight done without any real issues. At the moment, I'm just trying to balance the aircraft. It doesn't really seem to want to balance. Okay, that seems... At least now we know the autopilot is working this time round, so that's a good thing. We have a working autopilot. Oh, yes. Put all the icing... Yeah, we're going to just put all the icing stuff on Gawin. It's too risky to not have it. I can see now as well what you're talking about with the flight plan. It just goes all over the shot, over the city, doesn't it? Poor DC3. It has no idea what the hell's going on right now. Oh well. Touch and go at Moorabbin. Gonna pass on that one, Midi. Just obviously seeing as it's taken us an hour to get into the air. I feel like the last thing we want to do is give it any more excuses to potentially crash to desktop again. So, as much as I'd love to, as much as I would if we were flying a GA plane, I'm going to pass on this one. Well, we're going to get it. One thing you can be sure of is we're going to get a damn good view of Melbourne City here, because the DC3 is going to be just looping around like a complete nutcase, whilst it tries to follow the very, very, very interesting flight plan. But one thing I can confirm is this is exactly how Melbourne looks. Mitty says, I wasn't asking. Oh. What, you were telling me that I have to? There's no, like, I mean, do I not have a choice in the matter? I must do it? Is something bad going to happen if I don't? Like the world implodes or another crash to desktop? DC3 is so confused right now. It's like, what are you getting me to do, man? I'm not getting you to do anything, aircraft. Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator flight plans. I think I included like 3 waypoints. We had Marvel Stadium, we had Eureka, and we had the MCG. And now all the waypoints are part of the flight plan, so that's cool. The world will implode. It looks like it may have actually just given up on trying to follow the flight plan around Melbourne there. And hey, I mean, fair enough. It was, yeah, questionable. It seems like it's just going to start to make the journey across to King Island, which I think is great because, yeah. So now we're going to be heading down towards Phillip Island, which is, well, as the name states, it's an island named after Phillip. It is down in South Gippsland. Those who are familiar with car racing, bike racing, etc., they're probably very aware of Phillip Island, I would say. Just make sure that everything is all good. The red light seems illuminated there, but I don't actually think it's illuminated. I think it's more of a... my eyes are playing tricks on me. Floating around the cabin like we're in space. So as you can see over there, 7 nautical miles from where we are, is the airport that Mitty was talking about, Moorabbin Airport. Is it still the second busiest GA airport by movements in Australia? I think it might be. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's the second busiest airport in Australia for aircraft movements. Okay, so far, touch wood, everything's running smoothly. You know, it could have just been the crash to desktop that we had to have. You know, new fresh install, new aircraft, first time that the scenery's been run in the fresh install, etc. Yeah, it could have been, you know, as I said, the CTD that we had to have. I'm sounding like a politician now. Oh, it was the CTD that we had to have. Yes. It's first for GA, but second for all movements. Right, okay. What movements in particular, MIDI, are they hoping for? Like, you know, are we doing the worm or the dab? Sorry, that was that was uncalled for to bring such shit to the stream. My bad. Don't worry, Mitty, I'd probably have a similar face if I was sitting on the other side of my stream, like, Jesus Christ, this bloke's got some issues. So, I mean, what's better to do than to take said issues and put them on the internet for everyone to see? You know? Make sure that the whole world knows that you're a little bit... So we're gonna be crossing the coast back into a part of the world, or part of Australia, part of Melbourne. We'll get it right eventually. We'll keep shrinking the size of what we're talking about. Coming into the Mornington Peninsula over a part of the world known as Frankston. So, fun tip: this part of the world here that you can see that we're about to enter the coast back over, and just over here as well, so this whole little part, Frankston, etc., this is the part of the world where I was a child and I grew up. I actually had no idea that this flight plan would take us over this, but there you go. Mount Eliza, that's where I used to work as a chef when I was an apprentice. Hey, bonjour, Zach! Hey, going, mate? Welcome to the stream. I don't know why I went from French to Australian so quickly, but I did. What do you feel so bad for, Mitty? What do you feel so bad for? But I hope you're doing well, Mr. Gaming Lab. How is the lab? Glenn says, cannot fly at this time of the day, sadly. Yeah, I know, Glenn. It is definitely a sad thing, but you know, it's a day off, so therefore I'm going to stream when I can. I think I've got Brett Plays flying, but he's further ahead because he didn't have a crash to desktop. God, the wind is fun. Hey, there's another part of the world that I worked in as an apprentice chef. Mornington. Mitty is tripping. Yeah, it's all those acid tabs he just popped, obviously. He can't get over the dinosaurs in the kitchen. You have a good friend that works in a cafe bar in St Kilda. Oh, there you go. That's another part of the world that I've worked in. Although I wasn't a apprentice when I was there. You feel bad I grew up in Frankston? No, I grew up near Frankston, Mitty. Near. That whole part of the world. Not actually in Frankston. Yes, Frankston is the Birmingham of Australia. That is true. You are not wrong, Mitty. That is very true. In Ghettoville. Yes. The dinosaurs in the kitchen are real. Sure they are, Mitty. Sure they are. George Russell won his first race in Sao Paulo. So happy for him. Not to sound uneducated when it comes to racing and stuff, Zach, but who's George Russell? I mean, he's obviously a Formula One racing car driver, but I mean, other than that. I can confirm that all of this part of the world looks legit in the sim. It is bang on point. Down there, that little, what looks like a complex that we're looking at and all that, which has also got this area over here. This is, as it's just popped up, it's the HMAS Cerberus. So that's a Navy base in Australia. Obviously in Australia, seeing as that's where we are. Genius, I know. Looks like it's got a little airstrip there as well, grass airstrip. I don't know if that's legitimate or not. He's Lewis Hamilton's teammate in 2022. Right, okay, that makes much more sense now. Because I've been seeing a lot of memes recently about how Lewis Hamilton's teammate is probably going to receive a lot of calls this year from the team to don't forget to let Lewis win, don't forget to let Lewis win, etc. Glenn's saying she was a bar manager in a rock pub in Surrey Hills in Sydney for a few years, but the stress got too much and she's moved to Melbourne and now just does day shifts in a cafe. I can 100% sympathise with her. Not that I've worked in Sydney, but I've worked in Melbourne and that was stressful enough, so I can only imagine Sydney is a whole new level of, oh my friggin' God. Yeah, working in a cafe is a great thing to do. Highly recommend it. Yeah, great thing to do. Gives you a life again in hospitality, which is very, very difficult to achieve. He's thrashing Lewis. Ah, wow, and he's never won before, and he's thrashing Lewis. Okay, well, that's a great thing. I mean, not the fact that Lewis is getting thrashed, but it's good that he's got competition. Mr. Gaming Labs says, "Aight, see you later, lads. Aight, no worries, Zach. Keep it real, fam." Sorry, I'm just trying to speak your language. Not doing a very good job. Oh, Zach, you're about to miss the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. Sydney introduced a lockdown, which meant Surrey Hills, which was outside the lockdown area, got insanely busy. Do you mean the stupid Sydney City curfew that they introduced back in the day for the CBD, where all bars and pubs lock out at like midnight or something like that? Pub was just outside the curfew area. Yeah, of course. So everybody would have been. Let's try that again. Would have been like, ooh, pub, ooh, no curfew, ooh, let's go there. And yeah, okay. So I can see now why the stress probably got quite intense. Yeah, lots of money for the licensee, lots of stress for the staff, and I guarantee you, knowing the way that a lot of hospitality businesses work, unfortunately, that they probably didn't hire any extra staff or give anybody a pay rise. They just would have expected that everybody would have picked up the extra workload that was required, very likely. As we fly past Phillip Island Airport, which has a museum, a small museum of flight down there. And obviously the very, very famous Cape Woolamai for people who are interested at all in surfing or like fishing off surf beaches and stuff like that. You're probably very, very familiar with Cape Woolamai. It's when surfing occurs in Victoria, it usually happens at Cape Woolamai or over at Torquay. Do a Great Ocean Road scenic stream sometime. I should. I mean, like, obviously, Glenn, when we do get to Australia in the world tour, we're going to obviously fly the Great Ocean Road, but that is a while away. That is most definitely a while away. So, you make a good point. Maybe, gliders? Helicopters? Maybe, because obviously for the Great Ocean Road you want something very slow that can take it all in. You're putting ideas in my head, and that's a problem in itself. Or the Tiger Moth. I don't have the Tiger Moth, but what's that new World War I aircraft that they just released in the latest update? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Glenn. Yes, the Jenny. Yeah, maybe Jenny's the one. We can take Jenny from the block, or Jenny round the block. Steve Allen says the Phillip Island Museum is the national art. Vietnam Veterans Museum. Yes. Been around since '96 and at Phillip Island from '07. Yes. So I knew there was some sort of museum of some sort of flying related thing there at Phillip Island. I personally haven't been, but I have heard good things. Jenny in the block? Is Jenny in the block, is she? I don't know, I haven't watched The Block in years on, because that's on television, and what's that? I'm a millennial, what's television? We don't do that, we do streaming services and online. The Moth is worth buying once you get bored with all the new free stuff, by the way. I mean, look, it sounds good to me, Glenn, but at the same time, why wouldn't I just go outside at night and pick one out of the air? You'll do. So if I throw it at my computer hard enough, surely it will morph into an aircraft in the sim. The Phillip Island track was made for the penguins to run around. Yeah, absolutely. It's the penguins' fitness track and field. It's where the penguins go to train for the Penguin Olympics. It's held every 4 years. On occasion, they let motorsport have a go. I mean, I've heard that they've been trying to branch out. Let the motorsport people come in and have a good time as well. Absolutely. Yeah, I can just imagine it now, because of course Phillip Island is famous for all the little baby penguins. Like they don't grow very big at all, just all running around the track, you know. That would be a sight. The correct way to fly the Tiger Moth in the sim is with a fan pointing at your face. I can do that. Wearing goggles. I mean, are Speedos, or are they cool? Like just the swimming style ones? I can do that. And a flying helmet. I can do a race car helmet. I mean, it's going to be an interesting look. Swimming goggles and a race car helmet. With a fan pointing at my face, but I mean, you know. If it is raining, spray some water and castor oil in the fan occasionally. Look, I'm probably not going to spray oil in the fan, because then I'm just going to get my face covered in, well, probably olive oil would be what I'd be using. But water I can do, especially with the goggles. I legitimately feel like I'm going swimming. Alright, we are 43 nautical miles from the very famous Wilson's Promontory Wildlife Reserve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to visit the pilot's room and give the legs a bit of a stretch, and then we'll come back just in enough time to grab some views of Wilson's Promontory. Hopefully we get a good view of the lighthouse as well, because this is the last... Wilson's Promontory is the last little bit of land that we will see on this flight. So, back in a moment. Right. So as you can see, we've very much become quite remote where we are now. Glenn says covered in oil would be properly historically accurate though. Yes, this is true. However, I don't really feel like coating my room in a fine mist of olive oil if I can avoid it. That's what the kitchen's for. I'll do the water because that'll dry, but the oil will, yeah, Poundy, if you're on this channel for realism, I'm sorry, you're going to be very disappointed very quickly. Oh, Steve, I can be pretty sure that even if there was to ever be oil involved in a stream, that it's probably not going to be castor oil. It's just going to be like cooking oil. Because for the reasons that you just mentioned, it does wonders for the bowel movements even when you aren't near a suitable facility. Whilst I am near to a suitable facility, it's not really something I'd like to do on a stream if I can avoid it. Flip and burn, baby? I've heard of a dump and burn before with like F111s and all that, but what the hell is a flip and burn? You can see the white caps here on Bass Strait, which is why it's going to be interesting when we do come in and land at King Island, because it's right in the middle of this. It's a very small island, right in the middle of this particular body of water. With it's quite flat. There's basically no protection from the weather elements whatsoever. So yeah, there's nothing to worry about. It'll be absolutely fine trying to land this DC3 there. For the first time that I've ever landed the DC3. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. As long as I keep telling myself on stream that it'll be fine, it'll be fine. So you can see off to the left here now, this is... all of that is the Wilson's Promontory National Park, and Wilson's Promontory also has a animal refuge slash like zoo kind of thing down there as well. You'll all be fine too. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's all about talking positive, you know, and then when I do screw up the landing, at least everybody can be like, well, at least he was confident. Whilst you're all, you know, as passengers on the aircraft, whilst you're all laying in your hospital beds, you know, be like, well, you know, he tried his best. It wasn't his fault. We can't hold him. We can't hold this against him. It's all about covering myself legally, you know. I must say, I had so for dinner last night. I had a little bit of the Dirty Bird. It's been a long time since I've had the Dirty Bird. For those playing along at home that are not Australian, the Dirty Bird just means KFC. The reflux, the acid reflux the following day is interesting. I forgot about that was a feature of the Dirty Bird. That's probably because I don't tend to consume it too often, and I think this is, remembering back, this is why. This is why. It's great when it's going down, but the next day you just feel a little blur. How did, of all the people who I thought would get it, the first two people to respond in chat that they weren't quite sure where I was going with that were Australians. You two disgust me. How can you uphold the Australian flag when you don't even know what the dirty bird is? Sorry, slight overreaction on my behalf there. Actually, that doesn't, both of those don't sound too bad, Brett. Some Kentucky Fried Duck legs would actually be pretty bloody good, I reckon. Oh, don't you... It froze for a second. I was about ready to throw in the towel. But no, we're good, we're good, we're good. And to be honest, Kentucky Fried Rabbit sounds not too bad either, Brett. I'll be honest. Correct, Steve. That's right. That's right. I think it's only the second or third time I've eaten it this year, but yeah, I stand by my decisions and my calls, Steve. I stand by it. I will eat that shit, and then I will proceed to judge everybody else. The KFC pressure cooking would help a lot with the rabbit, actually. It most certainly would. Still tastes gamey, though. Yeah, but, you know, some people like a bit of game. Less tough and stringy. Exactly. So there we go. Wilson's Promontory Lighthouse. So this is the last piece of land that we will now see until we until we get to King Island. Actually, I'm wrong. We're going to see little islands along the way, but it will be, as you can see, one island there, a couple of islands there. The Cape Wickham Lighthouse, I guarantee you, guarantee you it's not 2.7 nautical miles from where we are, and sure enough, it updated to show the correct amount. So now we've got about 118 nautical miles, maybe slightly less, of across water flying. That's exactly what I had yesterday evening, Brett. That's about all I will ever eat from there is a zinger stacker, and then I throw in a little bit of coleslaw and a little bit of corn chips from their corn chip stacker. Sorry, from their corn chip burger, because you can't get that in a stacker. And the whole reason for it is because in town there is no burger places right now that do a fried chicken burger. So if I ever want to do a fried chicken burger that I don't want to make myself, my only option is the Dirty Bird. And of course, what's a fried chicken burger without a little bit of spicy sauce? You know, it's not a fried chicken burger. It's just not right. I reckon there should be some sort of law against it. You can't have a fried chicken burger without some sort of spice in it. Zinger Rabbit might become a thing. I mean, hey Glenn, if you want to work on a food idea with me, we can try and make that a thing. If you'd like some Zinger Rabbit, I mean, it could be interesting to try and sell that to the general public, the general Australian public, especially in the more remote and rural parts of Australia, you know. But hey, let's give it a go. It's a potential business idea. It could turn us into millionaires. You never know. I mean, I don't think it's going to turn us into millionaires somehow. but picture to the KFC head office. I mean, I feel like duck would be a more acceptable suggestion. Oh yeah, let's enjoy the crazy rough weather that we're gonna get here as we go across Bass Strait. I hope everyone's got their sick bags with them, because Poundy says, I just remember as a young and looking at some of the chicken pieces they sold and thinking that doesn't look like no bird to me. I mean, to be fair to KFC for a sec, Poundy, I would like to believe, in fact I'm pretty knowledgeable in the fact that Australian food laws have changed probably a fair bit since you were a young'un. So I'm pretty sure that in today's day and age it is 100% definitely chicken. However, it's probably not high quality chicken. But you can be pretty confident that today's day and age that it would be chicken. Mitty says, I got you craving KFC, you want to go out and get some? Go out and get some. What's stopping you, Mitty? If you don't want to go out and get some, guess what? You can get it DoorDashed, or Deliverooed, or menu logged, or Uber Eats. Yeah, well, Poundy, I don't usually do nuggets or stuff like that from any fast food place because it's never quite, yeah, never not sure what's actually in them. Yeah, basically. But the actual chicken, I'm pretty confident would classify as legitimate food, suitable for human consumption. Barely, but it is still suitable for human consumption. What is stopping you is this stream. I mean, yeah, sure, I understand that, Mitty. That's what Uber Eats and all that's made for, right? You don't have to lift a finger. Well, you do have to lift a finger. You have to use it to pick up the phone and put the order in. But, I mean, other than that, you don't have to lift a finger. I feel like saying lifting a leg would be a better, Mind you, with KFC nuggets, there probably is fingers in there. Poundy's had some wonderful rabbit over the years, crumbed with crushed up cornflakes and oven roasted. That actually sounds really good. Really good. I mean, I feel like whenever you have rabbit, you've got to have it with carrots. You know, you've got to be Bugs Bunny style. What's up, dog? I mean, cornflakes is definitely an underrated crumbing item, if you ask me. It works great on chicken. It works great for schnitzels. Cooking with carrots gets rid of the gamey taste. That is very true. Although, I don't know, some people do actually like the gamey taste. Mitty says, I hunt my rabbits. I've got this visualization now of Bugs Bunny being hunted. No, can't say I have, Mitty. Cannot say that I have. They explode. Ah, right. That sounds messy. Yeah, they are gamey no matter what. However, I find kangaroo on the less gamey side out of all the three things you just mentioned, the rabbit, the duck, and the four things, the rabbit, the duck, the kangaroo, and the venison. I find the kangaroo is the least gamey, and I find that the venison is probably the tastiest. It is messy, but they're in a field, so it's fine. You know what else is a messy in the field? Lionel. In the Italian soccer. Yeah, sorry, that was a terrible pun. Hey, Mr. iBot says, what's good, Bryce? I mean, alcohol, sex, drugs, rock and roll. They're all good. Things, flying. I mean, we could be here for a few hours, iBot. But how you going, iBot, mate? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing bloody well. Snake on the barbecue, on the other hand, tastes just like chicken and has almost no meat on it. I cannot say that I have actually tried snake, Glenn. Yes, very true, Brett. Very true. Cornflake crumbed rabbit. That is good. That is good. Doing pretty well. Enjoying the new update. Have you had any issues? I had to do a complete fresh reinstall, and I had my first crash to desktop as well in a long time. But I mean, other than that, it's been great. The Bell 407 is great. I actually haven't played around with the helicopters yet. I should, because I'd like to do something with the helicopters, if possible. Glenn says, I've been getting that your graphic device is seeing a space cadet crash a little bit. What? Are you sure that you're not having dealings with alien life forms there, Glenn? That sounds... yeah. I haven't seen anyone... not that I've been looking, because I've been so fucking busy trying to reinstall the sim and all my payware bits and pieces and all that go with it, but I haven't seen anything like that. A graphic card crash. What GPUs do you gentlemen have? Just out of interest, so that I should be. Is it Nvidia? I mean, it probably is Nvidia, because obviously I'm going to be, you know, curiously watching for GPU driver updates if there's potential for issues like that. Sim reports your card encountered a problem. Poundy's on a 3080 Ti, okay. So I'm on a 3080. So straight away I'm in the firing line category. Good, good. Jesus. Your graphics card has encountered a problem. Apparently is related to server lag. Okay, and you're on a 3070. Alright, so it does sound like I'm potentially going to run into this problem at some point. So, just need to be ready for that. Fair enough. It is what it is. Can't change it until we get a either a hot fix or a GPU driver update. So, oh, bonjour, Swiftfighter. How you going, mate? Welcome to the stream. I don't know. Don't know why I decided to speak like drunk. No, a drunk doesn't. Never mind. Don't worry about it. You're on break for TAFE. How's your angry teacher going? Your angry chef teacher, Gordon Ramsay II. Well, you'd like to think he's the reincarnation of him anyway. How's he going? Being an aggro person, or? What's funny, Mitty? The Gordon Ramsay job? It's funny to me how many chefs act like Gordon Ramsay when they just don't have the skills to back it up. It's just like, bruh, calm down. You don't have like 15 Michelin stars and like 7 restaurants and multiple TV shows. Although it appears YouTube is currently... oh, there we go. No, we're all good. We're all good. We're back. I was going to say YouTube chat's done its thing that it's that I've noticed it's been doing to Shane and Brett plays over the last week or so, where it just stops and then just dumps a whole heap of chat all at once. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, I always enjoyed that about TAFE when I was an apprentice Swift Fighter. Was yeah, where you got to like work at the canteen or in the TAFE restaurant where you got to like serve members of the public and shit like that. I really enjoyed that. You got so mad that you laughed. Yeah, He definitely sounds like Ramsay reincarnated, that's for sure. Yeah, all good looking like Nigella, that's true. Although Nigella's cooking skills sometimes, I sort of go, okay, that's interesting you did it that way. Mind you, the next person that you just mentioned, I have a similar thought process over. Yeah, have a massive list of friends to invite over for dinner, like Jamieoliver. Yes, Jamie. Yes, he always does have a lot of people attend. I mean, hey, you know, look, if I was friends with Jamieoliver as well, and he invited me to dinner, you'd be pretty bloody sure I'd be there with bells on. But sometimes as well, he does some really questionable shit when he's cooking, like. The hell did you just put into your, I don't know, whatever he's cooking at the time. But he's very accessible for home cooks, which I think is a good thing. Lena is here. She says, remember me from Fizz's stream? I mean, Lena, how could I forget you? You've been popping in and out of these streams now since Sid Squad did that amazing job of raiding. 6 weeks ago, I think it was now, 7 weeks ago, something like that. But Lena, how you going? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing really well.
Call me Bucky, niggas lucky that I'm innocent. If I didn't have no morals, I'd be menacing. How a nigga rapping conscious but he ignorant? How you from the hood but still gon' go legitimate? How you fuck a bunch of bitches but they still respect the women? He's the rolling in Sonata, he just got the windows tinted. Homie stab me in the back and that can never be forgiven. In my fire thing itching, man, I like your superstition. You can't have my phone number unless we running up the digits. Let me meditate, I just need a couple minutes. Tryna low for me, my cojones to the big ass. Bitch, I get high. I ain't looking at the clock.
I don't know. I have no idea what this song is. It's just on a playlist on Epidemic Sound. But it's got the vibe, you know. It just makes you want to like, oh yeah, this is mad.
Bitch, I get, bitch, I get. Let me meditate, then I celebrate. Tryna get the cake, got no take a break. Yeah, bitch, wait. Grew up in the 90s, we was watching Ricky Lake. We was eating top ramen, no a TV dinner plate. Made a couple dollars, so I probably get the steak. Go on out and tryna business, I told Quinn and I'll be late. Hey, I'm so epic.
Whoever it is, they're actually really good at rapping. It's giving me Kendrick Lamar vibes. The flow is giving me Kendrick Lamar vibes. I mean, the lyrics are a bit shit. You know, there's not much meaning behind them, unfortunately. But that also is that is the direction where music is unfortunately going. It's more about good beats and less about lyrical content and the story. It's not the Hoods. No, it's definitely not the Hilltop Hoods. I mean, the song was called Hot by somebody called Hattori Walker. So, I mean, hey, you know, the beat was hot, the flow was hot, but hoping that everything is going. Just notice the engines are doing some interesting things. So hope that everything is all good and there's no icing issues or anything. There doesn't appear to be. temperatures, oil temperature's good, cylinder temperature is good. Ah, right. That's... Yep. So, my carburetor temperature is off the scale. That's not a great thing. Nearly opened the luggage doors there. That would have been... Alright, so turning the carburetor heat off and opening the cowl flaps slightly appears to be solving our issue. Yeah, carb de-ice, carb heat was still on, so I've turned it off and I've given the engine a bit of air through the cowl flaps, so that should... I was wondering what that burning smell was in the cockpit. I was like, geez, something's running fucking hot today. Fly higher? I mean, I couldn't I? Although, it doesn't really seem worth it, seeing as we've only got 60 nautical miles now until we arrive at King Island Airport anyway. But yeah, once I left land, I really should have climbed a little higher, shouldn't I? Seems a little bit weird to be flying over Bass Strait at 5,500 feet. If it's like the 247D, do not let oil temp get too low or oil pressure shoots up and it kills the engine. Let's have a look. You've got me mildly concerned now, Glenn, so I just want to make sure. Oil temperature is good. I think we're okay because the oil temp is in the green. And I can probably close the cowl flaps again. Swift Fighter says, gotta go bye. No worries, Swift Fighter, mate. Enjoy the rest of your day at TAFE. Hopefully Aggro Man chills out a little bit. Don't let Pax drown in case you have to ditch it. Casa don't take light little losing passengers. Really? Oh. Just, you know, nothing like a bit of culling the population. Am I right, Poundy? Just, you know. Oh, whoops. Oh, well. Well, that's less people now to crowd Melbourne. Doing you a favour. There's a reason why I'm not in politics. Yeah, anyway, that got really dark really quickly. Unfortunately, there's not really much to say about the flight right now. We sort of, well, ladies and gentlemen, if you look out to the right-hand side, you will see Bass Strait. If you look out to the left-hand side, you will see Bass Strait. Pilots, if you look out your front window, you will see Bass Strait. These are all the cheap seats for the tourists. That's not okay to cull. Wow. Had I've taken a Learjet, different story. Oh, so we'll accidentally ditch with the billionaires on board, yeah? I feel like that would probably get us into more trouble. And also, Poundy, to do this flight in real life costs $649 per person. Now, that does include tea and coffee and stuff at the airport before you leave and access to a lounge. And it does include the cost of food and wine and all that when you get to King Island, and it obviously includes the cost of going back to Melbourne as well. But it's still not exactly cheap, is it? Accidentally, if you want to call it that, okay, let's just get the story straight now, though. I mean, the fact that we're plotting the story on a big video-related platform and all that, Brett, probably not ideal. might not hold up in court when we're getting questions, or when I'm getting questioned. I don't know why I'm included. Technically, you're involved now. You're an accomplice to the crime. I can, I know we're getting closer to this Cape Wickham lighthouse here on the edge of King Island, but I honestly feel like we're not getting any closer. Although I think I can start to see King Island now if I look. If I squint really hard, I can make out an island is there. iBot says, what's the song? The song is... There's the song for you, iBot. It's actually not a bad song now that I'm sort of listening to it. Doesn't give the same vibe as that rap song we had before, but I mean it's not designed that way. No worries, mate. All good, all good. I always like to try and tell people what the songs are if they're enjoying them. God, I really need to. I was going to say I really need to shave my moustache, but it's Movember, so I can't. But the consumption of hair is occurring. It's not very good either. It's not delicious. Hey, I know this song. It's Mr. Brett plays trucking intro. Get out of my mouth, you hairy moustache. Oh, it's only on Epidemic Sound. Really? You can't get it on Spotify or anything? That's amazing. That's not what we're talking about now, Mitty. That's not what we're talking about. Mustaches. You're not a flosser, so you don't. That's my best. That's my best attempt at flossing. Pretty sure all of Generation Z right now is just like, Jesus Christ, man. It is implied that only the adults understand. Mitty, there's no adults here. So... you know, people are, in today's day and age, people are identifying, you know, as various things and all that, and I personally have decided I would like to not identify as an adult. That's my decision. I will now, not identify as an adult in any way, shape or form. It means I can just cancel all responsibilities, and just, it makes life so much less stressful. Yeah, okay, the Sven Carlson song also says epidemics. I'm amazed that you can't find them on Spotify or places like that, but I mean, I guess that's probably why you have to pay a subscription fee to Epidemic Sound to be able to play them, because they are, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? When it's like belongs to just one particular... Exclusive! They're exclusive to Epidemic. Although, actually, let's see if I can find... Oh, no, my Spotify's having a meltdown. Does anybody else's Spotify just, like, completely lose its shit? Start not responding? Sure. So Poundy, I would say the reason for that is because... hello? Where is my mouse gone? There we go, it's back. So I'd say probably the reason for that, Poundy, is Epidemic about a year ago jumped on Spotify and started creating playlists of their music on Spotify as a promotional tool. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Mitty, the longer I have Spotify for, the shittier it gets. The way that the Spotify algorithm works, it ends up sort of, after a while, like if you listen to songs from a particular genre or time period or whatever, the only playlists that get recommended to you have the same fucking songs. Different name, same songs in a different order, and it's just like, why are you recommending this shit to me? I've already listened to this playlist 460 times, give me something new. So, yeah. Myself and Spotify are not having a good relationship right now, and I might swap to another streaming platform. And it's for the reason that you just said there, Glenn. Unfortunately, they've let the big three labels have just basically taken over, and it's no longer this amazing library of music and stuff. It's just major labels for 70%. It's a shame, really. Alright, so we can now see King Island. So as you can see, it literally is a small, very flat island in the middle of Bass Strait with no protection from the weather or anything. So as you can imagine, sometimes out here it gets a little hectic. Or sorry, as the new school generation says, it gets a little bit heckers, brah. The weather gets a little bit sus. Correct, exactly, Brett. Exactly. Like, I used to be able to, in my Discover Weekly on Spotify, you'd go in there and there'd always be, you know, up and coming artists and all sorts of really cool shit like that. And then now, you go in the New Music Friday or the Discover Weekly or whatever, and it's just literally remixes and covers of, you know, songs that are already done by mainstream, and it's just like, well, what the fuck is this shit? And there's different levels of subscription now as well. So like, you used to be able to access the whole music library with your subscription. Now, if you're like me and you're on the basic 2-device subscription, you only get access to certain music from certain labels and certain playlists and certain genres. And it's just, yeah. Basically, as Glenn said, they've let the 3 big labels just basically ruin it. No, it probably isn't that bad, Glenn. That's very true. That's very true. I don't think it will ever become that bad, but I think part of the problem is it was so good 4 or 5 years ago as an app, and now that it's been taken over by the 3 major labels, alright, figure out what we need to do here for landing at King Island. So, the active runway at King Island is 17? 17. Yeah, 17. Which is a cement runway that's only 3,500 feet long. So that's going to be interesting. Right? I wouldn't quite go that far personally, Mitty. I certainly still have songs that I very much enjoy, but I'm not liking the way that it's presented to us anymore. You know, it's sort of just, we will shove down your throat what we think you should listen to. We will not curate music based on what you want to listen to, if that makes sense. Melbourne punk band Amil and the Sniffers. That's an interesting name. Are doing okay with independent labels. They seem to be taking off in North America. So it wouldn't surprise me in the future if small independent labels is the way that the music industry goes. Especially by those who want to avoid, you know, their music being shoved down people's throats. as such. Kind of the same way that restaurants and stuff are going. A lot of people are leaving franchisee and franchise scenarios and becoming independent because it's just the thing to do. Plus, you lose the, you know, when you're a franchise, you obviously have franchise fees and all that sort of bullshit that's just not. It shouldn't be a thing. Pretty sure the airport's more than 2 nautical miles away, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Google their YouTube of Guided by Angels if you're curious about them. Yeah, I am curious. Just the name itself, you can't help but be curious. Yep, unfortunately you are correct, Mitty. But I'm sure that will change. I'm sure that will change over the coming years as more and more people take advantage of independent labels. But we probably, like it took, you know, it took Spotify a good 6-7 years to sort of change the trend towards the major labels. It'll probably take that time again to sort of trend back to sort of more of a balance. Right, let us turn off the autopilot here and we will prepare ourselves for arrival. Full propeller, full... Yep, full propeller, full mixture, very good. Bring the power right back. And then we've got to make sure that we trim this thing because it is extremely volatile if you don't trim it. Okay. Seems pretty... I know it seems incredibly nose down, but we're actually not super nose down. It's just the way the cockpit sits in the DC3. Very similar, actually, to the DC6. The DC6 looks notoriously nose down as well when you are landing. Yeah, more dollars for less effort. Milli Vanilli style. That's exactly right, Brett.
It isn't hard to tell what you were thinking, babe. Your thoughts are only getting louder.
If I do struggle to read the chat over the next, 5 minutes or so, appreciate the patience here. This is the first time I'm going to be landing the DC3, so as you can imagine, all eyes are going to be on deck. Let's open up those cow flaps. We'll put the fuel switch boosters on. Alright, we're inside 10 nautical miles. We're relatively lined up with runway 17, so we're going gear down. The pillars in the window make this very, very difficult to line up with these small runways that are not always the most visible things. Runway is still not in sight, despite the fact that we are 7 nautical miles out. Alright, we are in full landing configuration here. This wind is going to be brutal. Geez, still can't see the runway. This wind is brutal. We cannot keep this thing in a straight line. I can see the runway now, but the wind is making it almost impossible to actually line up with it. I'll take that. Not the best, but for a tail dragger 1930s aircraft with a 30-knot wind, can't complain, honestly. Could have been a lot worse. Yeah, exactly. No huge bounces, prop strikes, didn't actually leave the runway. Got close, but didn't leave the runway. Didn't nosedive into the pavement under braking. Didn't overrun. Hey, there's Mr. Fozzy Warbear in his PMDG 737-800. All right, let's go through the shutdown procedure of this thing. Alright. Does, can you open the doors and stuff on this thing? With stairs? Because it doesn't have a EFB. No, Fozzy. You're going from Sydney to Melbourne? Impossible. My mind is blown. I can't handle your, You just like to always change what you're doing. It's amazing. Lena says, did you notice the ground plane control with sticks? The signals are... Yeah, it's, Oh, you're not going to Sydney. You're going to Hobart. Wow. Sorry, you're going from Hobart to Melbourne. I apologise. I knew what you meant. Just came out wrong. This, yeah. It's... The brakes are questionable. Which they probably are in a DC3 in real life. Anyway, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to King Island here in Tasmania. Well, halfway between Victoria and Tasmania anyway. G'day, Vruden. What's all this then? This is called flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator. You might have heard of it before. I think you occasionally do it in VR. Guys, you haven't flown since the update. This is my first proper flight since the update, Vruden, so I'm in a similar boat to you, mate. Guys, thank you very much for coming along on this stream. Appreciate every single one of you for jumping in and being here. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you all along. If you haven't, yet, if you did enjoy what you saw and you haven't yet hit that like button or the subscribe button, I would be extraordinarily grateful if you were to do such a thing. It definitely helps the channel. It helps me know what content you do and don't like, etc. So, very, very helpful to everyone. But, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world, you make sure that you look after yourselves, stay safe, stay well, don't do anyone that I wouldn't do, and I will catch all of you in the next stream. No, Vruden, it hasn't yet, but I'm sure it won't be far off. But appreciate every single one of you. See you all in a few hours' time for another stream. Thank you very much. Catch you all later.